think it's on HBO or whatever.
Right.
And he talks about the American politics and international politics
Wow.
of the last week.
Right.
And there have been 25 series of it. He's been doing it forever.
Wow.
And he's a real left wing presenter, but it is just so funny. It is brilliant. But anyway.
Make yourselves comfy.
How was your New Year's Eve party then?
It was really good, thank you.
Yeah. So what did you get dressed up as?
Saltburn.
I wore. What did I wear? I wore a red velvet jacket.
And did you wear it the whole way through the night, or did you end
All
up...
the way through the night.
You didn't end up...
No, I didn't take it off. No, Sophie wouldn't allow me. I was going to wear a vest underneath it. You know, like a low slung vest.
Yeah.
And she
a
went,
wife beater.
Yeah, and she went, and I didn't have one, so I didn't wear it.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I wore a cream roll neck.
Did Sophie watch the film before New Year's
No.
Eve? So everything that happened was a surprise.
And what we did was, it got to the point with the bath.
Yeah.
The bath that just was starting to empty.
Yeah.
And
did you have toad in the holes or tongue in the holes?
Well, no. What we did is we stopped the film because it was projected. We stopped the film, and then I made pina coladas. And we had this
pina coladas.
And we have this this fantastic pineapple rum from Griffiths Brothers.
Oh yeah.
Which I thought was perfect. And we had coconut cream in it and pineapple and so on and so forth, and put loads of rum in it. And then I put it through the blender, made it nice and fluffy and lots of bubbly on top because it was important to. And then we took a photograph of it just adjacent to Oliver, and it is Oliver.
It is.
Do you remember we said it was Oliver,
ourselves.
and then we questioned ourselves,
Yeah.
and as soon as he went Ollie, and I went, yes, we got it right,
Yes.
we got it right. But
Ollie.
watching it the second time was incredible.
Yeah.
Because immediately you just saw all of the bits. You saw all of the plotting. You saw, and even at the very, very beginning, the little when he's talking to what's the name? We won't give too much away. And he said, "Oh, in the beginning," and then they almost flashed through the whole film.
Yeah.
Very, very clever.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it. Yes. Did you
like the intro to Seven that we've spoken about before.
Yes, very true. That gives it all away, doesn't it? If you watch it a few times.
Should we kick things off?
Yes.
Papa.
Change your complete now.
Popcorn Pundits.
Podcast. James always does like a descant type part to it, so he's always kind of there.
He's the bass.
Well, no, he's definitely
You're the
not.
lead singer.
Oh yeah, I am quite soprano, to be fair. But anyway, there we go.
Soprano.
Soprano.
Yeah.
We're still doing this.
I'm more Goodfellas.
Ooh,
You're
yeah.
soprano.
Deep pan.
Okay, should we bring this slightly more back to podcast rather than
Shall we?
Yeah, I
bullshit?
think it's
Yeah.
best.
Okay.
What are we doing, James?
Okay, this is your Popcorn Pundits podcast. This is your weekly update and review of fantastic films and really rubbish ones. Not only on the silver screen, but also streaming. We're going to tell you what to watch and what not to watch, and you make your own mind
And
up.
why?
And why. Yes. And we all also like to give one or two interesting facts. And our Pendants Corner behind us.
Pendants Corner.
Do you like that I did that?
I
That was
quite
good,
like
isn't it?
that.
Ensures that we give the correct facts to our listeners and not just drivel.
There's quite a lot of drivel.
There's drivel, but then she obviously brings it back to reality.
Fair enough.
She's a fact checker.
I Thatcher you into shape, don't I?
She does. I quite like it.
So this has been a bit of a weird week, hasn't it? Because I'm the only one that's been to the cinema this week.
First week of the year, being Thursday, the 4th of January.
Brilliant.
We need like a little party pop or
Yeah.
something every
Well,
time
hey.
you do that right.
And yes, it's that weird stuff. And I think this time last year, I'd already seen Man Called Otto.
Right, okay.
And being the Thursday, I should have seen a film by now, at least 2 films by now.
Well, so I went to the cinema on Monday, the first of January, and I went.
I'm so proud of you.
Thanks very much. This is the new me.
It is the new.
And I went because you always send me a notification of you
When
having
I'm
bought
going.
a ticket, and it gives you your ticket number,
That's right.
and it enables me to
And
choose
my
the
seat number?
Yep, and it enables me to buy a ticket next to you.
Or not.
So
You go further down if if you
Yes,
need to.
I could choose to sit elsewhere, and so I could just chuck popcorn at you from behind. However, so I turned up, and I was running bang on time. I was very proud of myself. There was a massive queue in the concession stand, so I was getting a little bit stressed.
Was the audience...
We haven't said what I watched yet.
I know, exactly. Was it the Grey Pound audience?
It was the Grey Pound audience.
Okay, cool. Okay, just checking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which might partly be because of the movie that I went to see, but also it might have been the fact that they're the only ones who were probably in a fit condition to go out on January the 1st, to be fair. Because you certainly weren't, were you?
No, I wasn't, no, it wasn't. I was a little bit tired.
But anyway, what happened was I sat down, and there was therefore an empty seat between me and the lady next to me, and she decided that she was going to utilise that seat for her coat and her handbag. And I said, "Excuse me, young lady, I've got somebody joining me at the moment." She said, "I'm so terribly sorry." I said, "It's no problem at all, but just to let you know, my date's going to be here soon."
And she started looking at her watch.
Yeah,
going,
and then you didn't show up, and then about 10 minutes into the film, she kind of looked over at me, and I was just like, "I think I've been stood up." Nice. But there we go. It was
sorry about that.
No, it's fine. It's all good. It's all good.
So, talking about that though, what film did you go and see?
I went to see a film called One Life, and I didn't actually do any research about this whatsoever, even to the extent that I didn't know what the film was about whatsoever. Good. And this was...
You'd seen a couple of trailers for it, hadn't you?
No.
Really?
No.
Oh, I love that.
I went absolutely...
Blank page.
I honestly even didn't know what the film was called. I literally had no idea that this had been made. I didn't. Yeah, I booked it because you'd done it, and I thought you'd booked it because there was nothing else on January the 1st that we hadn't seen already.
Pretty much what it was.
That's
anyway.
Pretty much what it was anyway. So I turned up and the credits started rolling.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it's Anthony Hopkins. And then they started talking about the story really quite quickly in the film, and the second they started talking about it, I knew exactly what the story was, and I knew that I was in quite a lot of trouble watching.
And that's when the tissues came out.
I got into quite a lot of trouble watching this film because this is so incredibly close to my heart in so many different ways. It turned into one of the most beautiful couple of hours I can remember in a long, long time.
That warms my heart.
It was honestly, I did cry.
Good.
I cried a lot in this film.
I missed him crying.
I know, we could have recorded that for the Instagram.
I know.
The lady next to me did.
Okay.
So I'll speak to her next time we go.
Perfect, thank you.
Anyway, so for any of you of my type of age...
Yes.
You might...
Mid-30s.
I was going to be nice and say 21.
You might remember a particular That's Life...
Esther Ransom.
With Esther Ransom episode.
That's how she speaks.
Where she talks to an old gentleman in the audience who basically, during the Second World War, helped children escape from Czechoslovakia, and he rehoused nearly 700 Czechoslovakian children as refugees in the UK and found foster homes for them. And it's basically
there's no UKIP then, was there?
It's this story, and like even now, just saying that gives me absolute goosebumps because it was a beautiful thing.
Allegedly,
yes.
I don't know how true it is. I don't know if it brings it up in the film. Apparently, he was on the way to like a ski holiday, and his friend called him and said, "This is what's going down. What can we do?" And he stopped his holiday to go and.
It's kind of like that. Basically, there was a ski holiday booked, and this was a stop off on the way to go to the ski holiday.
Right.
And his mate had actually already gone skiing, so he decided to go to Czechoslovakia like on the way, and then basically found this agency that were trying to relocate people. And basically, Hitler was about to invade. Europe,
right?
And basically, it's just pre to the Nazi invasion of Poland,
right?
And they knew that they had a certain amount of time to get as many children out of these little camps that they had all around Czechoslovakia. Right. They were basically they managed to get 700, just under 700 kids out on 8 trains, and then the 9th train, which had the most number of kids on it, 250 children on the 9th train.
Right.
it was stopped by the Nazis, and they all went to concentration camp, and basically none of them survived. So the reason this film is so sensitive to me is that my grandfather was from Czechoslovakia and came over during the Second World War,
Right.
and he was one of 5 siblings.
Wow.
And this whole film is about not the panic, it's the wrong word, but the urgency of getting the relevant visas.
Importance.
The important, and importance isn't enough. It's just it's so important
The gravitas.
that every kid gets the necessary documentation to be able to leave the country, and the trains passed through Germany on the way from Czechoslovakia to the UK.
Right.
So if the paperwork wasn't absolutely to hand, then it wasn't going to happen.
Okay.
So my grandfather was one of 5 kids,
Right.
and he was the only one without the relevant paperwork, and he's the only one that made it out of Czechoslovakia to the UK.
Wow.
And so this honestly,
it is,
it's, even now it makes me really emotional, and it's just this film was just such a beautiful thing. What day should you watch this film? You should watch this film on New Year's Day at 5 o'clock. Okay, so things happened in this film. So this is the simplest of stories. It is the smallest of casts.
Right.
It is. So the main character is a guy called Nicholas Winton.
Right.
His nickname is Nicky.
Yep.
He's known by everyone as Nicky. Great name, hey Nicky.
Yeah, he told me that himself.
Oh, yeah, you met him, didn't you?
Yeah.
I wish I'd met him.
Oh, he was incredible.
Oh, he also looks exactly like my granddad. Honestly, this film was set to make me blub like a baby.
In a way, can I just say something? In a way, weirdly, I'm really pleased that you went to see it by yourself.
I'm so glad you weren't there. I couldn't bear you crunching nachos the whole way through that. I would have punched you in the face. But anyway, there we go. So, Nicky Winton is played in his latter years by Anthony Hopkins.
Yes.
Who you were saying earlier on that basically he elected himself for this film. Yeah, he basically chose to play this role.
Yeah, it was something to do with.
I heard it was his daughter that initially liked the idea of Anthony Hopkins playing him. He obviously poo-pooed the whole idea because he didn't want any publicity, because he was obviously very famously very shy for any publicity at all. Anthony Hopkins heard that he was being mentioned as being cast for it, and immediately approached the family and went, I'm up for it.
I think
he was
as well,
amazing.
The family pretty much said if it's not Anthony Hopkins, it's not getting made.
A fair comment. And do
Which
you
is
agree with that?
completely fair,
Yeah, he was absolutely perfect, and he acted beautifully in it. And it's got Helena Bonham Carter as the young Nicky Winton's mum, and again she just does what she does. There was no. This film has no bells and whistles.
Right.
It is. If you saw a poster for it, I don't know that many people would go and see it, because it is such a simple tale.
Okay.
But it is written absolutely beautifully.
Good.
It is acted.
And how's the pace?
Absolutely beautiful. It's exactly what you want it to be.
Okay,
There are moments of urgency within it, because obviously we're looking at Nazi invasion. And when the phone call comes through that the Nazis have invaded Poland, you're like, fuck. Fuck. We need another week. We need another 2 weeks.
Exactly.
And you do feel that urgency.
You want to stop time almost.
But honestly, the Anthony Hopkins version of Nicky, he's just got to a stage in life where he's just so pragmatic and so, what the hell?
Yeah, I'll have a go.
Yeah, it's going to happen. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If it's not going to happen anyway, I told him this and it was a load of rubbish.
Can you see any other actor playing that role? I mean, I know the family wasn't happy about it. Can you see sort of Sri McKellen or... I
think it would have been a lesser movie. So every week you ask me a particular question, and you say
how
and Samuel L. Jackson does not belong in this film whatsoever. but written by Lucinda Coxon and Nick Draker, directed by James Hawes. Just thank you, because they made the simplest thing the most beautiful thing. It's the only film I've ever been to at the cinema where there was a round of applause at the end. And
mention that.
And I've never ever seen that. I mean, okay, in America, but they're weird. They do that. I understand that.
Yeah, they clap when you land the plane.
Can I ask you though? Because you saw it at Maidenhead Cinema, didn't you?
Yeah.
Do you think there was a round of applause because of him and what he did, or because it was Maidenhead and he's from Maidenhead?
I don't.
Do you think it's
I
both?
honestly don't know, but I think that probably had a part of it. But I tell you what did happen What happened was when everybody realised they were getting to the "That's Life" part of the film. I'm going again.
I'm staring.
It's amazing. So literally, the whole audience started shuffling in their seats and getting really hot and uncomfortable, knowing that they were about to lose it and bawl their eyes out. The whole place went. Honestly, it was the most.
Isn't that beautiful? That's what film is all about. Emotion.
Yeah.
Whether it be good, whether it would be excitement, fear, love, sadness, it evokes.
So this whole thing that we're talking about, I can't tell you a better result that could have happened of expecting to go to the cinema with you on a particular day that I didn't want to go to the cinema, watching a film that I'd never even heard of. Turning up, sitting down, you not being there, the film starting, me realising that I'm knowing the story, straight away start getting upset because I know what the story is and what the sentiment is to me just personally. Then realising that sentiment is being shared with probably 100 other people in one of the fullest cinemas that I've seen all year. Well, okay, in the last 12 months. 1st of January. As soon as you say that, you realise you fucked it, don't you? It's that. Yeah. Anyway, this was why I like.
Good.
This was why I like going to the cinema. This.
We've got the popcorn pundit to thank for that, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. I would never even have seen this film, and I've just watched. It's been one of the most amazing couple of hours.
I'm going to play devil's advocate now. Does it have to be seen at the cinema?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. You can watch it.
Streaming at home.
You can watch it whenever, however. It's a Sunday night film. You're going to ask me what day. It's a Sunday night film. Absolutely 100%. It is. It's just beautiful. It is absolutely...
I suggest what we need to do then is, before you give your score, I would like to suggest that when we come across movies that are that important and we actually don't mind people watching it at home, I think what we need to do is in future podcasts, when it is starting to stream, we need to highlight that.
I agree.
Also, I think, just as a quick note for us for admin later on, we should post the poster of this on Instagram, on our Instagram, just so people can actually remember what it is and go and see it and it is, honestly, it's a watch. You have to watch this film.
Do either of you know why it's called One Life?
I do. I did during the film. It's a mention of the importance of one life saving so many other lives, but I can't remember the exact quote. I wanted to mention that quote, but I don't know exactly what it is.
No.
Okay, so the title refers to the quotation, which is, "He who saves one life saves the world entire." This is actually quoted in Schindler's List, the 1993 film, where it was stated accurately from the Talmud, which is a religious script, and it also appears in the Quran.
Wow.
Okay, beautiful. I'll also say this isn't Schindler's List.
No.
This isn't a massive biopic about the
and it's not in black and white.
No.
No.
It's just a wonderful thing.
Okay. Score.
It's 9.5.
Jesus Christ!
Wow, I'm not surprised.
It is.
That's
honestly,
amazing. No, honestly, I'm so pleased.
It's 9.5.
Yes.
Because of the entire experience.
Yeah.
It's not the greatest film
So I
I've
wasn't
ever
there.
seen. However, I have got a problem.
What's that?
That's not the first time that I cried at a movie this year.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
because you said something last week which got me really interested, because I watched The Whale that morning.
I still cannot believe you didn't watch The Whale last year.
No, I didn't, and I don't know why. Okay, and this is my stupidity, is that I saw the Brendan Fraser picture of The Whale.
Yes.
And for some reason I had it as part of that Me Too sect. I totally
really?
misread what the movie was. Yeah, and I thought it was him portraying that type of character rather than the person that he did. So when you start talking about The Whale being this thing of beauty,
yes,
I decided I was going to watch it because I woke up on New Year's Day and my family were all asleep, and I thought, I'm going to give this a go and see what he's going on about.
While my family is asleep, I'm going to watch this.
And I started watching it, and oh my god! I mean, it is absolutely beautiful.
Isn't it?
Brendan Fraser is basically in shot
him.
the whole time. I mean, you love him anyway,
I
don't
love
you?
him anyway.
Yeah,
I love him as George of the Jungle.
He's
That's
just
when I fell in love with
incredible.
him.
But he plays. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was going to interject there really quickly. I felt watching it after the fourth time last year.
I totally get you watched it more than once.
To me, it's the closest thing you're going to get to a play in reference, because it felt like stage left in, stage left out. Each character came in at a certain different time. The ex-wife came in at a certain time. The Jehovah's Witness, and they all had certain moments that they had to come on stage almost.
I think it was originally a screenplay. I think sorry,
Well, surprised me.
a stage play.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they mentioned at the end it was adapted from a stage play.
Right.
But you're absolutely right. It's that type of piece. But again, that
so simple but so complex.
To admire such beauty in something which would be considered generally so ugly, is an amazing thing, and it's one of those. So I always talk about my favourite autobiography is a book called Mr. Nice. I don't know if you've read
I still haven't read it yet.
So I'm going to buy it for you. It is
audiobook.
It's the most incredible thing.
Right.
So basically, it's about a marijuana dealer.
I've seen the film.
A true story. Yeah?
I've seen. Isn't he English?
He's Welsh, and his name is Howard something.
And do you know who played him?
It's what's his face from Notting Hill.
That's right.
Yeah, Rhys Ifans.
He's brilliant in it.
He's really good, but the book is a million times better.
Good.
And the reason I love the book is that a friend of mine gave it to me, and you look at the front cover, and it's a picture of the main character. And you look at it, and he goes, "He's a gnarly, knotty face. His face looks like a tree. It's like so wrinkly and crinkled." And the further you get through the book, the more beautiful the front cover looks. And it's a very, very similar thing.
Yeah.
Once you start understanding the story of the whale, it is more.
You don't take the face value on to its merits.
Yeah. It takes a lot to get through his face value, but what's underneath is absolutely heart melting. It's wonderful.
I'm really pleased that you saw the whale. Really pleased. And I feel that not only was it a fantastic triumph for Brendan Fraser as an actor, I also felt that it was a beautiful platform for the female actor from Stranger Things, where she had a different role to come into as well. That young, angry daughter, which I think that was a fantastic platform for her acting chops.
She was a bitch.
Wasn't she?
Justifiably so. Yeah. But I mean, my God, she played the bitch.
Didn't she?
Absolutely.
And that final moment was just beautiful. And also his carer.
Just brilliant.
Wasn't she just absolutely brilliant? I'm really pleased. And so what we need to do is, and that's streaming at the moment, so we're encouraging people, if you haven't seen The Whale, and you're at home, what day would you watch? I mean,
it's on Sky.
Yes.
And I wouldn't recommend watching it at 8 o'clock on New Year's
Sunday
Day.
morning or something like that. It's a difficult one, isn't it? It's not a Saturday night movie, is it?
It could be. It's a Thursday night.
100%.
It's a Thursday
100%.
night.
It's a Thursday night where you're not necessarily having a drink, you're not necessarily staying up late, you are wanting to watch something beautiful.
You might be having 8 pizzas and 2 litres of Coke.
You might be.
It's available on Amazon Prime, YouTube, Google Play, and Movies and TV, and Apple TV as well.
Yeah. Go and watch it.
Yeah, I watched it on. I watched it on Prime. It was free.
Jumping back to One Life quickly, it was actually just. I'm going to give a shout out because some of the minor locations for shooting were at the top of Pinner High Street, which is near where my grandparents used to live.
Cool. Yeah.
And which also features in The In-Betweeners as well.
Yeah, it's
when Will's trying to buy the booze.
Really?
Yeah. And one of my friends actually messaged me. I think she might have been at the same cinema showing as you, but she said,
She said, this bloke next to me wouldn't let me use the seat for a chair.
Maybe, she said, there was this weird guy in glasses who made me move my coat. She said, I saw One Life, by the way. It was very good, and the locals clearly care for and respect the man and his actions. Applause at the end of the showing.
Yeah, it was.
And Lawrence said the same, and he didn't go to the same screening as you. So I think there must be. I reckon all the staff at the back are just like clapping.
And the IMDb score is 7.6.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think as an overall general film score, that would probably be my score, and I score like a bitch. I mean, I score hard, so
Harsh, yeah.
I am. But the whole experience for me.
But for you personally, it's important.
I'm not joking.
Yeah.
That's so close to me saying 10, which I just never ever thought
Good.
I'd do ever
I'm
on
really,
this podcast.
could be your first
ever.
film of the year. 10,
I mean, it's a benchmark,
isn't it?
It's
It's a new you, darling. It's a
And
new
then
you.
We're pretty much staying on the same theme with your film you saw, aren't we, James?
Slightly, yes. So I stayed at home this week to watch a film, and it's a Netflix produced film. It is a film that's it's weird because there's been quite a bit of controversy about it because apparently it's produced by the Obamas.
Oh, right, okay.
You see, and immediately you know the sort of person you're talking to where they'll use that as a negative or a positive immediately. They'll go, you don't want to watch that drivel. It's being produced by the Obamas, and you look at it and you go, oh.
Take your red cap off and get out of my room.
Exactly. And then on the other hand, you get other people that go, it's written by the Obamas. It's it's really intellectual and quite highbrow and so on and so forth. I as per usual, I like to think I always go to a film completely with a blank page. My wife didn't want to watch it at all. She went, I don't like the look of this. It looks a bit weird. It looks a bit like a James movie. And
oh God,
I know exactly. However, let me give you the story. So, Leave the World Behind is on Netflix. A family getaway to a luxurious rental home takes an ominous turn when a cyber attack knocks out their devices and two strangers appear at their door. Okay, now it's the initial family is Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke, who weirdly make a fantastic couple.
Haven't they been a couple before?
I don't know, but all I've got to say is, I mean, obviously Julia Roberts has been as an actor been around a lot longer than Ethan Hawke. I feel that I'm probably technically wrong, and I'm sure going to get told off by that in a second. But immediately I thought, what a fantastic couple!
Couple.
They
must have them round for tea.
Exactly. And Julia, and I have to say, both of them, I feel, have aged as actors as very similar into the Anthony Hopkins scenario, where they're just going to go, I'm going to do this film, and I'm going to be quite good in it. I don't have to overact. I don't have to over-try.
Well, Ethan Hawke randomly popped up on my Instagram feed this week.
Did he?
I don't know
was
why.
Messaging you?
Well, no, it was just
Haven't
like
you seen my film yet?
Obviously, I mentioned his name once, and and he appeared on my Instagram feed. But he has aged exactly as you'd imagine him aging. He was wearing a pair of tweed trousers and trainers, and like he was walking across a road.
Beard on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So anyway, so and immediately, if the way it's filmed, the way that the filters on it and everything else, it immediately feels like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. It's got the eeriness, it's got that. The dialogue is very similar. There's very, very snappy dialogue all the way through it. And it's very clean. Each scene is very, very clean.
How do you know it's a cyber attack? How is it kind of depicted?
Well, so immediately the phones go out. All the phones go, and there's no signal. And at certain points, there's a fantastic scene with Teslas, which I'll come across that in a second. Okay. So there's a sudden global catastrophe strikes, plunging the world into chaos and uncertainty. Now, at certain points, you're not quite sure, in a very similar way of 28 Days Later and other sort of attacks, you're never quite sure whether this is global, you're never quite sure whether this is localised, or you're never quite sure whether it's just a house itself that's been under attack. And what I really, really love about it, it never explains it all the way through the movie. It never goes, oh, well, and shows the whole globe, and the whole light's going out, or it never says, ooh. So it's a very un-American film.
So it's based on this one house?
Based on this one house. They do escape out the house. Well, not escape, but they do leave the house, and they try to see other people. But I'll come to that in a second. So the two strangers appearing at their door tell these people that are, because don't forget, Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke have literally just come to this house for the week. This is literally just like an Airbnb. Airbnb, like a very, very nice Airbnb though. Really, we should go. Anyway, it's really nice there. And the couple that turn up at their door is, and I'm going to pronounce it completely incorrectly. How do you pronounce that name there?
Oh, so it's Mahershala, I believe.
Yes. The first time I saw him was in Moonlight, and I totally adored him in Moonlight, and that was another screen unseen. He's one of these actors that has a a really internal pace in him. He'll talk at his own pace all the time, and he draws you in. There's no shouting with it. Even I've never seen him in a role where he shouts. He was in the Green Book, and he's also going to play the new Blade as well. And he's quite an imposing, very, very sort of beautiful actor. And the female character that's with him is his daughter. Okay, and they've turned up at their own house because they're telling Ethan Hawke and Julia Roberts, "This is our house. Something weird has happened. We want to come back to our own house." You see,
right.
And of course, you've got an Airbnb. You're Ethan Hawke and you're with Julia Roberts, you lucky monkey, you. And you're there going, and then I'm sorry, but we've got this house for a week.
Yeah.
Go and find somewhere else. And it all gets, and you're never quite sure, for quite a bit of film, whether or not these people are actually saying who they say they are. You know, in a very M. Night Shyamalan movie. So there's always so there's not only twists of what's going on with the phones and the cyber attack, and is it a cyber attack, is it not a cyber attack? But there's also the scenario of, are we letting people in that don't belong to the house?
Yeah,
okay. And there's also a race thing as well. So because immediately they'll turn around and go, well, actually, were you allowed to come into the house?
I'm not like Ferrari. You mean like the other race thing?
No, a race thing. So there's that's very good. I'm impressed with that. So they allow the owners to stay, but they stay in the cellar, and it all gets very contrived, and it all gets very sort of layered in the messaging when it comes to the whites and the black, and the black family who own the family are actually in the cellar, and the white people that are renting are in the double bedroom with the big thing, and it's all very there's lots of layers. It's very, very clever. There's conflicting personalities, and there's also escalating tensions and so on and so forth. And there's a very, very clever moment where they try to escape, and it's not giving anything away really, but they try to escape, and there's a road blocked with white cars. Okay, and
right.
they can't. It must be a scenario where it must be an island scenario, like in a small American island in New York or somewhere, where they can't get to the mainland. Mm-hmm. They have to go over, and it's completely barricaded with white cars and all white Teslas. And of course, you suddenly realise that the white Teslas are driving themselves. You see, and that's where the cyber attack scenario comes in. But to make it even another layer to take it away from a cyber attack. There's deers everywhere. Okay, now the deer they use deers in the adverts. I'm not giving anything away with that at all. And the deers look really imposing. I mean, they've not got guns or anything. They're just staring at you, and there's a lot of them. At a time, there's 100 at a time, and they just walk up and they go, "All right," and it's really, really freaky. So.
I'm getting flavours of The Last of Us from this. I'm kind of getting that.
Yes,
I'm getting that kind of.
There's definitely references to The Road, Children of Men, and some of the eerie shots are like, for instance, from Blade Runner and from 28 Days Later, because there's virtually nobody on the streets at all at some points. And the film concludes with an ambiguous resolution, and it doesn't give. I don't want to say what happens at the end because nothing happens at the end.
Is it leaving it open for number 2?
I hope not, and not because I didn't like it, mainly because I really walked away thinking to myself, I've just seen a piece of art by an American director and American actors with nothing given away, nothing's been sort of given to me on a plate and go, this is what's happening, this is the storyline, this is why it's happening.
So I still don't really get the plot of this, which is
exactly.
And I think that sounds like what it is.
Exactly.
Okay,
you
cool.
walk away there going, I know what's happened, I know what I've seen, but I'm not quite sure what's happened.
Okay.
Yes.
And you seem like you really enjoyed it.
I mean, for Sophie to turn around, my wife, to turn around and said, I have no idea what happened, but I really enjoyed it. And that, to me, sums the film up.
Ah.
Ambiguous.
Would you like a few film facts?
Please.
Okay, so this might be a slight spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm. They all die at the end.
The picture of the waves in the upper bedroom
Yes.
changes during the movie. The tide is
Oh, you've
rising.
just done a revelation to James. That's brilliant.
The tide is rising, and the same applies for the black and white picture in the living room, which resembles a change in. Now, I have to apologise for my pronunciation. Rorschach test, which is those German blotch, the psychological.
Yeah. And apparently, all the books in the library mean something as well.
Well, those black pictures are always just tits, aren't they?
And there's
I should go lower.
and there's actually a reference to Friends.
Is there? Is there a bath? Is there like a hot tub?
No, Friends is in
That's what I'm
the
talking
not Saltburn Friends.
No,
I mean actual
yeah.
Friends.
Hot tub.
With like Chandler Bing and Monica Geller and.
Anyway.
So the story is, again, this might be a slight spoiler alert. The daughter of the vacationing Amanda, who's played by Julia Roberts.
Yes.
Is constantly glued to her tablet, which she uses to stream Friends.
She does.
And she's almost finished watching the show's final episode.
I know.
When disaster strikes, and
There's no Wi-Fi.
but those who are fans of Friends will know that Julia Roberts actually appeared in Friends.
You're talking about Chandler Bing dying in a hot tub. Oh my
That took
god!
ages.
Just realised that. That's why.
Wow.
That's why
I think that's a bit
podcast.
I went
soon.
straight there.
Yeah.
That's too soon.
I apologise for the pronunciation again. Mahershala Ali,
Mr. Ali.
was actually not the original cast member.
Wasn't he?
No.
He was really good in it.
Apparently, the original cast member dropped out. Who do you think it could be?
Robert Downey Jr.
I forgot what Chandler Bing's
It was actually Denzel Washington. Who
Was
was
it?
Samuel Jackson.
No, not Samuel Jackson.
shit.
I'm heartbroken.
I don't think Denzel Washington would have done. He wouldn't have
Very
had
different.
very because what I loved about Mr. Ali's. Did you do that?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Mr. Ali's performance was that there was almost no theatre with it. It was almost as if it was Mr. Ali turned up at his own house and went, "I'm not acting. This is my house," and that's what I really. To me, that was kudos to him.
Well,
Kudos to
I
him.
like the way you've talked about that. I'm going to watch that.
Seriously, it's one of those films where it's almost impossible to talk about it without giving all the little bits and bobs. But there's a fantastic scene with the oil tanker, which is fucking amazing.
Would you need your scores on the doors, James?
8.2.
Oh wow, blimey, really?
8.2, and it's to me it's a testament to a streaming movie that hasn't come out to cinema. And it was gripping. At not one point did I stop and make a cup of tea, and at one point, I mean, I was crocheting at the time.
Did you go to the toilet?
No.
What did we watch last week where you went to the toilet like 3 times?
No, James.
Driver. It was Ferrari.
Wowzers.
Yeah, I think that's a lot about the film, though. To be honest with
I think
you.
it maybe did.
Yeah.
2 things.
Yes.
One, IMDb gave it 6.5. And 2,
Stingy buggers.
where's that music coming from? There's a load of music going on that I've just noticed.
Yeah, John, excuse me for a second.
Honestly,
Background music provided on his podcast account is from Peter's shop.
Unbelievable, well done.
honestly, you can't get the staff these days. Thanks, gents.
There you go. 8.2.
8.2. Impressive. Nearly as good as One Life.
I think, and if you're going to ask me the question, how would I make it better?
How would you make it better? Apart from Samuel L. Jackson and Denzel Washington.
I personally, my concern is that they were going to turn it into it could have easily turned into a series, could have been like Lost or something like that, and it would be dragged out and I'm really pleased they didn't do that. So that's a plus to it as well. I mean, technically, it could have been stretched out to 2 films. It could have been a part one. They could have left it at a cliffhanger, and then you would have been going into a second one, maybe.
It
So
does.
they
It
could
does
have
sound
conjugated
like a
it.
really awesome capsule of time, though.
Yeah,
and I
it
must
is.
admit, this year we have seen some longer films which have been
Yeah.
they're necessarily long.
Yeah.
The-
And just to let you know, the director is Sam. Which is it? Esmail.
yeah.
Yeah, Sam Esmail. He directed Mr. Robot, which I really, really liked. Have you seen Mr. Robot?
haven't, no.
You'd like it. And Homecoming as well, which I haven't seen. There you go.
Brilliant.
Would you like to top 10 it?
Yes, indeedy.
Perfect. Okay, so,
So that's our review of
One Life.
One Life and leave the world behind. We're on now to
This week's top 10.
top 10 in the UK cinemas.
As of the 1st of January 2024.
Yes.
So number 10 is Godzilla -1, which we thought was brilliant, didn't we?
Brilliant.
Number 9 is Napoleon.
Still hanging in there.
Yeah, which is dropping like a sack of poo, though, isn't it? And justifiably so. It's not fantastic. Number 8, The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
That Peter's going to watch next week.
It's really it's really good. Next Goal Wins.
Yes.
It's dreadful.
That was your screen unseen, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It feels quite weird that it's just gone into the chart now. 'Cause
Yeah.
it feels like we watched it weeks and weeks ago.
And it came in at number 7.
Yeah, but that's about right. It's
Yeah,
a
I agree.
really poor movie.
I mean, it's a Sunday movie that you'd watch if you've got nothing else to do.
It's Cool Runnings 4, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really shit. Anyone But You, which I know nothing about.
Have you just completely skipped Wish?
Yeah,
Best
intentionally.
Disney movie anyway.
Does anyone know anything about Anyone But You?
So Anyone But You is a comedy romance.
Oh.
And it said, despite an amazing first date, Bay and Ben's initial attraction quickly turns sour. However, when they unexpectedly find themselves in a destination wedding in Australia, they pretend to be the perfect couple to keep up appearances.
Oh, sounds awful.
Oh, God. You can watch that one.
I've booked it already for you.
It's Sandra Bullock in
Have
it.
Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke ever been a couple before?
Not that I can see. I have just been trying to find
I'm
it.
not,
but
I
can't
don't know
see
why that's
anything.
ringing a bell, but anyway,
They've
anyway.
probably been in films together before, but not a couple.
Flatliners. The Boy and the Heron. Do you know anything about this?
No.
Yes, my dyslexia read it wrong.
What did you read it as?
Heroin.
Boy on drugs.
So this is an anime, and
I've seen the trailers for it.
and
Yes.
it just looks so beautiful.
We need
So
to go and watch it.
I'm
don't
going to
we?
go and see that this week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it looks absolutely
I
stunning.
agree.
Number 3. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll go and see The Boy and the Heron, and you go and see number 3, Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom. How about that? That sounds like a fair deal to me. Number 2, Ferrari. Moving on to number 1, Wonka.
Yes, still at
Still
number
up there.
1.
And you said last week that you had met someone who didn't like it, and I said that you
Yes.
needed to erase those people from your life.
And they
Actually-
are now out of his life.
Well, quite a few
He's
people
got a new
don't like
patio.
it.
Weird.
I didn't realise it. That actually, it's not universally popular. Quite
What's
a lot
wrong
of
with these people?
A lot of people don't like it.
What is wrong with them?
How bizarre, eh? There we go.
So you're going to go and see. Well, I would definitely want to see The Boy and the Heron. So
Yeah.
if we can hook up to go together, that'd be lovely. If not, we will compare notes independently.
What we signed up to see on Friday?
Anyone but you.
we're going to see a film called. Have you got it on your phone? I think it's called Night Swim.
Oh, it's called Night Swim.
Oh.
It's hysterical because again, it's another pool. Oh, and actually, we've seen a trailer for it, haven't we? It looks absolutely terrifying.
I know.
It looks like.
It's swimming in the dark.
No, it's the trailer is a woman swimming in a swimming pool
Yes.
at night, as
Yes.
it says. Then the lights go out, and then
hands
it's
coming out of
pure
nowhere.
terror. It's like, yeah, okay, awesome,
I can't wait. Friday night.
fantastic,
Whoop whoop.
excellent,
And Boy and Heron, obviously as well.
yeah, perfect.
Good.
So we need to talk about
So
homework.
that's top 10. Now we're on to homework.
James avoiding the subject. I wonder why.
So, would you like to confess, James, that
Please, sir, the dog ate my homework.
do I need to set a detention or something?
Please, or caning.
So basically, James didn't do his homework.
Right,
No.
okay.
No, he's not in it. So you set me. What did you set me to go and watch?
Crazy Stupid Love.
Which I was definitely up for watching because I like the scene with the Velcro wallet.
Yeah.
However,
Sorry, I happened to watch it last night, and that was also my favourite bit.
there you go, you see it. I've seen the trailer for it. I know what it's all about. I would definitely watch it this week. I
Okay.
promise.
Okay, so that's your new
Promise.
homework for this week.
Yes.
Okay.
So I did my homework, and I watched a film called Sisu.
Yes, you did. Would you like to give the listeners and viewers like a 2-minute story of what happened
2
in Sisu?
minutes? How long do you think this podcast is?
Well, you gave a really good description of
Do
what
you
the
think
film
so?
was last week. Yeah, you yeah. So basically, there's a few things which you said which I didn't 100% agree with.
Okay.
And it's not huge things, but basically you said that.
Is it Norwegian?
It's you said this Nordic character. It's set in Finland. I think.
Well, Nordic.
Yes, which
He's got a Nordic beard.
He is a stunningly handsome
Isn't he?
older man, and he has that typical Nordic Viking look. He has the long beard,
Piercing eyes.
He's
Hot to trot.
He's hard as fuck. I
Isn't
mean,
he?
you know, literally from second one that you don't
mess with him.
You don't mess with him.
I mean, even when he looked at the gold and he started crying, and you went, although you're crying, there's not very many people can look hard and cry at the same time.
Well, this is like my mind was very, very, very dark place. Anyway, so basically, he finds a shit ton of gold.
He did,
and then he basically is taking,
and he's completely by himself, isn't he?
Yeah, that's
it's just
right.
him and a horse.
Yeah, and so I need to make a mental note for something I want to say in a second. So he basically starts trying to carry his gold in a couple of knapsacks on his horse to take it to the bank, to bank it, basically. That's what he wants to do.
It's his gold,
and
he's a gold digger.
He wants to live his life. You basically said that the entire German army was coming towards him in the other direction because they were being they basically firestormed the whole of Finland, and they were basically retreating. They for their poor sakes, they come across him, and oh my god!
Oh no!
It's
initially you're worried for him, aren't you? Initially, for the first 30 seconds,
it's uncomfortable. Yeah, and then all of a sudden you realise that you don't need to worry about this.
No, he's all right.
And then this is when I think our opinions of the film change.
Okay,
slightly. Okay, so the first thing I want to say was I was quite upset when we watched Napoleon, because there's a scene in it where a horse gets hit by a cannonball, like flush on its chest, and the horse is he's got a massive hole in him, and it's really uncomfortable to watch.
And it's done really well, almost too well.
Yeah, and I mentioned it, and you glossed over it like it was nothing. Now I understand why you glossed over that.
Yeah, because I watch shit like this all the time.
This horse in this film gets fucked. I mean, this horse, there is bits of horse landing for minutes after what happens to this horse, and you're just like, oh, now I totally understand why James doesn't give a shit about a horse getting hit by a cannonball. That is nothing. That's like the walk in the park of horse assassinations. I didn't realise you'd seen it already 10 times stronger. Anyway, so the bit that I like about this is that this is what happens if you give a Nordic filmmaker a Jason Statham plot.
Yes.
It is absolute annihilation on, and you said it as well. It's like so
John Wick,
comically violent,
massively,
that you're just kind of thinking, oh my god. And there is some beautiful female empowerment in it. There is, and that does look a little bit Charlie's Angels,
almost like in a Sin City, almost in a Rodriguez sort of way. Does that make sense?
It is, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And like, you know, and it kind of has a nod to old westerns as well, doesn't
Very
it? The way
much
they were
so.
kind of walking towards camera with
absolutely
skirts
in a Tarantino sort of scenario.
AK-47s.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was another bit of punch drunk, a sucker punch in there as well with that.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. It's a beautifully Scandinavian style film,
super violent,
with Jason Statham violence in it. It is really, really bizarre.
I think Jason Statham is actually hoping to get to that level of violence, because there's I've never seen Jason suck oxygen out of somebody's body.
Oh my god!
In a lake.
Oh my god! It is. There are just bits of it where you just kind of like...
The whole audience gasped.
Yeah, but also...
with laughter.
And so this guy, he has this little dog, doesn't he?
He does.
And every time a German goes near this dog, you just end up going to scream, don't do that! Don't touch his dog! Because you know it's going to end up really, really badly. It's going to hurt you really, really, and all your
descendants and everybody.
But anyway, so... Thank you very much for my homework. It was a really, really fun watch.
Yeah, it's a Saturday night movie.
Yeah, it's a Saturday night movie.
It goes so quickly as well.
It just flies by.
Yeah.
And I mean there are some bits that you won't forget for a long, long time.
And the dialogue is so minimal.
No, I can't remember any.
Exactly. I mean, because what I love is there's two waves of the German army. One is there's a tank and some really hard blokes, and they think they're the dog bollocks.
Yeah.
And they go, right, okay then. But then there's the army behind them, and they go, I will take care of this.
But there are some bits like in Top Gun, like you know when like Goose is like talking about his beautiful wife and
Yes.
children.
Yeah.
And you think, oh, you're fucked, you're dead.
Yeah.
And there are certain bits like when German soldiers do stuff, and you're thinking, I cannot wait to see what happens to you, because you have just set up your own death.
Absolutely,
So
I'm really pleased you enjoyed it. Really, really pleased.
Yeah.
And would you recommend people to watch it at home?
Yeah, I think it's your only choice now, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
100%.
but it does. I don't think it's going to lose anything by being watched at home. I think it's just a really great movie.
If you've got a
to watch.
violent void in your life,
Maybe eat first, watch movie after.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe don't.
It's actually only available on YouTube and Amazon Prime
Okay.
at the moment.
Right. Amazon. Perfect.
Yeah, I watched it on Amazon.
Yeah.
It was free to view. It was
good.
Yeah, it was all
And
good.
it's not a very long film. It the music is also gravitas and dramatic and everything else. Yeah, it's a very simple movie,
It's very simple.
but it's done incredibly well.
This is one of your top 2 films of the year.
It was.
I wouldn't have put it there. But you want us to watch the other one as well, don't you? So The Dive is the other one that you're recommending.
That's right.
that
Now
watch.
we rewatched The Dive instead of watching Love and Doobie.
Crazy Stupid.
Yeah, exactly. And I have to say, I stand up to it. It's still as good the second time watching, even though you know what's happening at the end, even though you know there's little subplots.
Is it
you
as
know,
good as Swim Fan?
almost.
Oh.
Is it as good as A Man Named Otto? So I am slightly worried that I've peaked early.
By the way.
Oh, for Sisu?
Yeah.
Oh, 7.0.
7.0.
Yeah.
It's actually got 6.9 on IMDb. So
Oh, well
you're
done.
close.
Yeah, it's
That's a good score, though.
It's a decent. It's a
For
decent.
a violent movie
Yeah.
that's got a very niche audience, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it's a. We were talking about capsules of time earlier on. It's a very short capsule of time. He finds gold. He beats the shit out of Germans. End of movie.
Talking of short capsules of time, the director was originally going to direct a comedic sci-fi film called Jerry and Ms. Universe in Canada, but it was postponed due to the pandemic, so he quickly wrote Sisu in the
On the back of a fag
in
packet.
the fall, in the autumn of 2021. So he literally...
Well done, him.
The only thing I think is really funny is they talk about Sisu in the film, and they say, "Oh yes, this is a word which is not translatable. It means
It
this."
is.
I know you go. You've just translated it. Yeah, it's a word that nobody knows what it is, but it means this. If you press me hard enough, it means pressure and yeah. But
it means stoic determination, grit, bravery, resilience, and hardiness.
Yeah,
yeah, and that pretty much sums up the whole.
it's what comes out when you know you're fucked.
Yeah, and you got a bag of gold in your back.
Yeah.
And all
And
the
a big
actors
knife.
insisted on doing their own stunts.
Oh, is that right? There's some stunts in it.
There is some stunts
Yeah,
in it.
some proper stunts.
Yeah,
in it.
absolutely, some
Awesome.
proper stunts in it.
So, I was a good boy. I need new homework, please,
You
James.
you do indeed. I feel that I've given you a violent movie,
Yeah.
and
Who's going to give you a worse one?
and now I feel like I'm going to give you an unviolent movie, which has got a it's character driven. It's got mother issues. It was released last year. It was Joaquin Phoenix's second film of the year last year, and it's called Beau is Afraid.
Oh, you mentioned this the other week. Yeah,
Yes.
fantastic. I'm looking forward to that.
It's batshit. It's really completely bonkers, but it's so delicious in its surrealism, and you've got to roll your sleeves up, and you've got to be there. You know, you've got to take your shoes and socks off and go, I'm in. Don't go and make cups of tea, and you just got to watch it.
I sit through a whole. I'm not you, James. I can actually make it through a movie without needing a wee or a cup of tea, so I'm all good.
Good.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Do you know that he is also in the next Joker film? It's all been confirmed.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Which is called Folie Douce.
Yeah, because you've got Lady Gaga playing Harlequin.
Yeah.
It'll be out in
So
October.
there are
4th of
some
October.
rushes already been shown, haven't there?
Mm.
I think it's being produced at the moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very, very excited.
4th of October 2024 it'll be out.
Yeah.
Beautiful, fantastic.
Sorry?
October 2024. That's this October.
It's my birthday.
What, the 4th of October?
24th, you thought you said?
No, I said the 4th.
Oh, can we go 20 days later?
And it's really funny because you always don't tell people when your birthday is, and you've literally just
And
told
it's now
everyone.
recorded, yeah. I wasn't going to say anything. I was going to let him carry on.
Delete that bit. You haven't heard when my birthday is.
It's either the 4th or the 24th.
Exactly.
That or he wants presents, so that's why he said it.
Very nice.
Presents arriving.
Beautiful.
So there we have it.
Yes.
Have we finished?
Well, how can people get in touch with you? How can people listen to this and watch
See, I love this.
Honestly,
Having an editor and a producer.
It's
It's so professional,
Don't
isn't
make
it?
me
If it wasn't for her,
Oh,
no
no.
one would listen to us.
Nobody listens to us at all. So we are available visually on our new YouTube account, which you can follow us, which is the Popcorn Pundits, which is praise.
Beautiful. And you can listen to us on everywhere where you can find podcasts now.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you can find us on Apple.
Yep.
You can find us on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
And we're really easy to search for. You just put in the Popcorn C and then literally you'll find us there. We
Yep.
are like the third one down.
We are, and we're also on Instagram. If you so Instagram, we would love you as a viewer or a listener to get in contact with us through Instagram. Message us, let us know what you think about our reviews, and ask us to review films that we haven't reviewed so far. I think.
Yeah, and we're going to start putting up little bits and bobs of what we have watched, just so you can make sure that you're watching the right thing. And,
I think so.
Even if you watch it a week or two after we've reviewed it, let us know what you think, because we would like to put your comments on this podcast.
I think so. Yeah, absolutely. Get in contact with us.
And thank you to everyone who has viewed our YouTube videos. Already.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, it's truly appreciated. Thank you very much for watching us.
Beautiful. Our Godzilla episode was watched many times.
Many
That's
times.
quite incredible.
Head over to the Godzilla one to find out how many times it's been watched.
Beautiful.
Are you going to papa us out?
Let's do it.
Pa 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 pa
Pa-pa-pa-pa-pa. Popcorn Pundits.
podcast. I love your beard, man.
Do you
What
like
is
it?
going on?
I know.
It's totally different, except you're going to need to trim your nose hair.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, you've done